Rush Hour would be cancelled if it was released today. I grew up watching these movies, so I never really understood the impact of some of the lines in this script because I would quote these at like 8 years old and I would get adults scolding me for saying these lines. But when I was old enough to fully understand what they were talking about, it genuinely got me wondering what would the reactions be if it was released today. And as you can tell, things were way different back then. Because off the top of my head, you don't really see movies like this nowadays with lines that are as wild as these.
First I get a booty, Simon, that Mr. Rice-A-Roni.
What's up, my?
Oh! What the hell? I will slap you so hard you end up in the Ming Dynasty. Oh!
But do comment below if there are any other movies that have wild lines like these. For some background, the Rush Hour franchise is a series of American action comedy films created by Ross LaManna and directed by Brett Ratner. The films are focused on two police detectives, Hong Kong Chief Inspector Lee, played by the legend Jackie Chan, and LAPD detective James Carter, played by the big homie Chris Tucker, who go on a series of misadventures involving corrupt crime figures basically throughout the world. I mean, they were in LA, they were in Hong Kong, they were in Europe. The films incorporate elements of martial arts, humor, and the buddy cop subgenre. The films were released in 1998, 2001, and 2007, with a combined budget of over $300 million and grossing $850 million.
Thank you, God.
I can comfortably say that these movies are a hood classic, even just a classic in general, to be honest. Now, quick side note, while I was doing some research, I actually found out there's actually a TV series.
Nice.
This is unacceptable.
It's not right that they stuck you with that clown.
Thanks, man.
Talking to the Chinese guy.
This dude is from Singapore. Oh! They got the wrong Asian. This looks like a Saturday Night Live parody of Rush Hour. I could not agree more. The show aired on March 2016 and was just cancelled a few months later just after one season. To be honest, the series could be okay. It's just when you put it against a masterpiece, you ain't touching it. To be honest, the kind of vibes it gives me is when you watch the whole anime of Avatar, The Last Airbender, and then you call it a movie is kind of the vibes that I'm getting. So why would it be canceled today? Purely what I believe is that people nowadays, especially with the whole cancel culture and social media, it's really easy to take things out of context. The point that people would miss is that you have two guys that are ignorant of each other's culture, but eventually overcome this conflict. So of course, when you have a premise like that, you're gonna get lines that are kind of racist and ignorant. That's just realistically what would happen. But nowadays, it's too easy for people to just jump to conclusions on one piece of the puzzle. So for example, when we share clips or videos with our friends or people that we know, we're not sharing the entire movie, obviously, just certain clips of the movie. So it's very easy for someone who's never seen the movie just to stumble upon a clip like this on Instagram.
I'll slap you back to Africa.
Oh, you will? Yeah. Well, come on, let me see that.
And just jump straight into the comments and give their full judgment at face value without ever seeing the movie. I mean, anecdotally, it happens here on YouTube. You'll see plenty of comments that will give a full judgment and haven't even finished the full video. And times were completely different back then when it was released. I mean, there was no social media back in 1998. You could say a lot more things were simple back then. But what makes Rush Hour so good? Growing up, this is one of my favorite movies. I mean, easily top 5. And easily one of the most quotable movies out there.
Not Mushu, some Mushu.
First of all, what I think cannot be replicated is the personalities. You have Jackie Chan with his incredible stunts, martial arts, and humor. And you got Chris Tucker with his incredibly loud personality and comedy. Put both of these personalities into a project and you get the two legs of Usain Bolt. But this is also why I think the movies did so well and why the TV series did so bad. Like, think about what you remember about the Rush Hour movies. The first thing that comes to mind is probably not the plot, conflict, or resolution. It's the comedy and personalities. And that's what I think really drove the popularity of Rush Hour. And to further prove my point, we always stick around for the bloopers at the end of Rush Hour movies. They're hilarious, but are completely irrelevant to the storyline. And that's why I think the TV series completely bombed, is because you just cannot replicate personalities. The audience has already built their expectations around Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, each who are just one of a kind. But one thing that I think one of the most beautiful things that gets overlooked is that you see two people who want nothing to do with each other
And just sit there and shut up.
come to see past their differences and become basically brothers.
Snoopy?
Yeah.
I love Snoopy.
Wait a minute, I love Snoopy too.
And have nothing but love and respect, and just has this bond that I think a lot of us would crave to have.
The way you make me feel.
It's cool to see an unforeseen friendship that emerges from something that both people would never see from each other. And I think that's why it's okay for best friends to joke with each other like this. Because honestly, I say things like this with my best friends all the time. The fact that you trust this person and you know this person, and it purely comes from a place of comedy and not in a malicious intent.
Yeah, come on, push your button.
The goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button.
Now, apparently Detective Carter was supposed to be played by Martin Lawrence, but I am so glad they casted Chris Tucker. I mean, hey, maybe this movie still would have been good if it was played by Martin Lawrence.
I guess we'll never know.
But with the skill set and the confidence and the vibe that Chris Tucker has, I don't think any other actor has got it like this guy. But what I also love is that both characters come from completely different backgrounds and culture. You have one legend super cop with all the great qualities, amazing at getting around, can embarrass dudes 2 feet taller than him, and is from Hong Kong, while working with a detective that probably shouldn't be doing all the things that he's doing, who is amazing at talking and creating diversions, has an insane amount of riz, that's from Los Angeles. And just seeing how completely different these two are but are still able to become best friends is a great reminder to not be so quick to judge someone based on their race, culture, or where they come from. Anyways, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a great day. Make sure to fix up your posture there and drink some water. But also, fun fact, Rush Hour technically created Rotten Tomatoes. Sen Duong, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, had collected all the reviews of Jackie Chan's Hong Kong movies after they were released in the United States in anticipation of Rush Hour. And he put them all on a website which we all know today as Rotten Tomatoes. Now, off the top of my head, you don't really see movies with jokes like these nowadays, especially that is executed in a way that is so funny and so quotable. And honestly, relatable. Relatable in a sense that there are so many other cultures out there that you sometimes don't know that you're offending other cultures. Take when the character Lee arrives in the bar with Carter and is just learning the culture and unknowingly offends somebody. It'd be like walking into an Asian cultured household and walking around the house with your shoes on. Of course the owner's gonna act like this. Or stepping to a Filipino house and not accepting any food. Now, there is no malicious intent except for the fact that, you know, people are just ignorant. And I think that is displayed perfectly in the Rush Hour movies. It's not just one of them, it's both, who are ignorant and mildly racist to each other, but beautiful in a sense that they still become an unlikely dynamic duo. But all in all, context matters. This is why we're able to say these kind of jokes to our best friends or family, because we're cool with them and, you know, we trust each other. Without context or trust, you can't really say this to another person. Now, one last important thing that I want to say, when I was a kid, I always thought Juntao was this guy, but that's Sang. Juntao is actually this dude. Yeah, I was probably like 6 at the time when I first watched this movie, but when I rewatched it again when I was like 14, I realized that Juntao was some white dude. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Yeah, no way, talk down and we finish, babe. Count up, yeah, we getting to the cake. Speed up, never got my foot on brake. Boss up, on my mama, this my fate.